Hey Barbs, coming at you with another build guide video. I can't stop. I'm going to talk about Whirlwind HotA today. It's nothing special, it's nothing new, but it's something very near and dear to my heart. And I just did a piece on Whirlwind Upheaval, so I would be remiss if I didn't discuss its big brother, Whirlwind HotA. Now this is the special Whirlwind HotA version for Season 3. We used to run with Metamorphosis, but we're going to use Charge. And forgive me for screwing this up. I do not actually play Whirlwind HotA. Gasp. I don't know what I'm doing. Where's my Whirlwind? Oh, there it is. Boom. Boom. So this build is great because with Ring of the Ravenous and Banished Lord's Talisman, you can guarantee overpower procs like nothing. You get Earth Strikers as well. Whirlwind helps you spend more Fury, so you overpower more often, and you guarantee your crits. And every critical overpower does ridiculous damage. This was the best build in the world, if I do say so myself. Not my version, of course, but yeah, Whirlwind was doing some crazy things with HotA during the Abattoir of Zir phase. I think pretty much every Barb who wanted to be somewhere on the leaderboards was running this build. Did that thing open up? Okay. Yeah, this is one of those wonderful dungeons where you have to make sure you kill every single enemy. So make sure you watch your mini-map. You don't want a single skeleton to get away. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna... I'm feeling kind of thirsty. I'm gonna eat that. There we go. Don't have Juggernaut in this build, so I better drink an Iron Skin potion. You'll notice most of my hits, if I'm doing it right, they should all be yellow. A lot of them will be orange. None will be blue or white. Your critical overpowers deal 10 times more damage than your regular overpowers. So you should make sure you always do 2 ticks of Whirlwind so that you can... Oops. So that you can spend 100 Fury in every rotation, guaranteeing Red Ring of Furor will do its thing and make you ridiculously powerful. Alright, well, at this point I don't really need to be killing all these guys, but it's so much fun, I don't really want to stop. That's the beauty of the Whirlwind HotA build. Personally, I'm one of those weirdos who prefers Whirlwind Upheaval. Feels much safer to be far away from your enemies, but it's actually a lot easier to aim Whirlwind HotA because it just hits everything around you. And it scales much better in the end game because of the design of the ability. Sadly, Upheaval, nothing scales worse than Upheaval into the end game. It's a bummer. I should be charging more frequently to maintain Berserking because I don't have Relentless Berserker. I also want to maintain an uptime of Tybalt's Will. And keep myself unstoppable as frequently as I need. Yeah, nothing really stands a chance, even though I'm bad at this build. It's just so easy. I could be running with Ancestral Force. Ancestral Charge, I mean. I do have Ancestral Force. That's the HotA aspect. But you'll notice my charge, you know, it hits hard, but it doesn't hit the whole screen, which is what charge really should be doing. I have shouts, but their only purpose is to allow me to reset the cooldown on charge when I need to. Oh yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I left that thing back here. Let's go get it. Alright, here we go. Yeah. Got him. It's a pretty fun build. I like it. Let's see. Are we at the boss yet? Yeah, here he is. He didn't last long. Nope. Easy. Well, that's HotA for you. The best version of HotA. Whirlwind HotA. Whoa, did I get a Paragon? Nice. God, I love that chest armor. I never get to use it. Alright, let's talk about the build. Wait, did I teleport? Let's go. Come on. Where are we going? Let's go. Let's get out of here. There we go. Let's go. Alright. So I've got this build I made. I have the planner for it. I'll put it in the link of the description. And you can find all my builds on Maxroll. I read a lot of the Barbarian leveling guides. And I make a lot of fun endgame guides. Mostly I just try to put my own personal spin on whatever is popular. Sometimes I try to do things that are extremely unpopular because I think it's hilarious. Hence the obsession with Upheaval. But yeah, we're not talking about that today. Today we're talking about Whirlwind HotA. So, the key to this build is a couple different pieces of gear. The Banished Lord's Talisman and the Red Ring of Fur are necessary to guarantee your procs of Overpower and Crit. You also need to have Earth Striker. It doesn't have to be on your two-hander. I like it there, personally. And then what's really great to have, but not completely necessary, is Tybalt's Will. And, of course, the Tusk Helm, the ever-popular, good for everybody, Tusk Helm. The stats on the rest of your gear are not critical, but I put them in the order of their most importance. Ranks of Hammer of the Ancients on your gloves is the single most important stat that you can have. Attack speed and normally I would say crit chance, but we don't need any crit chance because our Ring of Red Fur guarantees our crits. Some people who play Whirlwind HotA still run crit chance because they only let Whirlwind spin for 1 tick, which spends 20 Fury approximately, and you add HotA's cost of 70 to 1 tick of Whirlwind, you get 90. That's not 100. You gotta let Whirlwind do its thing. You gotta let it spin 0.4 seconds, and then you'll have 2 ticks, and then you'll guarantee your crits, and you'll do 10 times more damage. So, we don't need crit chance on our rings, we don't need crit chance on our gloves, but everywhere you can get it, resource generation, you need it everywhere. You've got it on the Banished Lord's Talisman, you've got it on the Red Ring of Fur, you've got it on your other ring. You will get it on your helm once you get the Shaco, that's nice. But you can get by with that much. We get some more in other places that I'll talk about, but it's necessary, as well as a couple other things. It's necessary to be able to produce more Fury than we're spending. It's pretty hard to hit that mark if you don't have optimal allocations in resource generation. Prioritize that everywhere you can. We also need a lot of damage reduction on our chest. We run Juggernauts there to cap our armor. We run a lot of resistances on our feet. Ghostwalker is great. That'll proc every time we charge. As will Tybalt's Will, keeping us in the green with our resources and giving us a nice 40% bonus all the time. As long as you remember to actually charge, which I don't. Then our weapons. The most important stats on your weapons are strength and damage while berserking. Each one gives an enormous bonus to your damage overall. The third and fourth stats are overpower damage and all stats. Everything else is a little bit worse than those, given that we're overpowering half of our hits. The overpower damage bonus is like 3 or 4 times larger than most of the other bonuses. It's scaled, I think, to be sort of appropriate, assuming that you will overpower like a quarter of your hits, but we're overpowering more than that. So it's actually very good for us. We also run 2 maces in the one-hand slots because they come with extra overpower damage. We run Ancestral Charge, Edge Masters. We also have Ancestral Force and Limitless Rage. This one's great. If you're playing Whirlwind HotA properly, you should be capping this completely before every HotA just by virtue of hitting enough enemies with Whirlwind and then generating rage when we swap weapons. I said rage, I play WoW, it's true, I'll admit it. Right. And then our other ring, we have maximum fury, berserking damage, resource generation I mentioned, and we can actually run maximum life here. This will increase our life total by about 1/8 or 12%, and getting 12% toughness for one affix is very good. You could put crit chance here, but like I said, with Whirlwind HotA played properly, that's a wasted stat, so I wouldn't bother. You could run Bear Clan Berserkers here to make sure your charge is frequently ready to go when you need it once every 4 or 5 seconds to keep up berserking. Other option is Bold Chieftain or another offensive aspect. You could, for example, move Ancestral Force to your ring and then run Relentless Berserker here, and then you wouldn't have to charge every 5 seconds to keep berserking up. You still want to charge every 5 seconds for Tybalt's Will, so there's a little bit of flexibility here, but it's kind of up to you and your play style, what is more comfortable to you. For the skills, we've got 2 in Lunge. The minimum in Whirlwind, actually, to simplify this, I think I'll just create a clone and remove all the gear that's adding points to our skills, because it's gonna make it a lot easier to show the tree without extra points built in. Let's do that. There we go, that looks better. Cool. So we've got 5 in HotA, and we take Furious and Enhanced, of course. These are so good. Best passives in the game, in my opinion, and HotA gets both of them. Whirlwind with Enhanced Whirlwind. Sometimes you'll want to run Furious Whirlwind if you don't have a sword in your 2-hand slashing slot, or if you're spinning with your one-handers and one of them's slashing weapon. This may be a good choice. I've got extra armor, extra health, damage reduction. We've got 1 point in Rallying Cry. We don't need the Unstoppable from it because we have charge for that. Challenging Shout, I put 1 here for a little extra life. That actually increases our damage too, because Overpower gets a boost from having extra health. Movement speed, and then we've got charge. We can break out of any CC with this. It will knock enemies back, which will prevent them from hitting us while we're pushing them. If we push them into a wall, they get stunned. This is great for survivability. You feel invincible while you're charging, unless you charge like through an explosion. Don't do that. I've done that. It doesn't feel good. Yeah. Hit 3 enemies if you can. This is a lot easier if you have Ancestral Charge. I didn't, so you'd seen me struggling to keep charging frequently. Even if I had remembered to do it, it would have been tough. Power Charge is a lot easier to satisfy if you have Ancestral Charge. Trust me, you want that. All the defense. We proc Berserking with charge. So we usually, in Whirlwind HotA, would run Warcry, but I've dropped that. We don't need Warcry for Berserking because we get charge for Berserking. In addition, charge gives us, as I said, Unstoppable, and that gives us more rage. It's awesome. It's the greatest. Prolific Fury, again, resource generation. Everywhere you can get it, you need it. It's your best stat. Right up there with ranks of HotA, you know, the build doesn't function without it, basically. A little bit of extra attack passive here, more damage, damage. We get Wrath of the Berserker, and we just need 1 point in Tempered Fury to unlock Furious Impulse. This is awesome. This is what makes Whirlwind HotA work. So if you were wondering how to make a core skill like Whirlwind generate Fury consistently, how does that work? Stuff like this. Every time you swap from Whirlwind to HotA, you swap weapons, you gain Fury. In addition, whenever Whirlwind hits something, it generates Fury. And that's why, you know, we need so much resource generation, because this is only 6 Fury per swap. Up here, if I look at Whirlwind, it's like 1 or 4 Fury per swap, or per hit, depending on what we hit. It's not a lot, right? But We get resource generation everywhere we can find it. HotA gives us more. We get more while we're berserking. We get more every time we charge. And that's what makes it work. And then, what do we do with all those resources? We dump them into Unbridled Rage. So I just want to mention, most builds now don't use Unbridled Rage, because if you take Unconstrained, it makes your berserking damage bonus from 25% up to 100%. And then, if you run Wrath of the Berserker and stack up Supreme Wrath of the Berserker, you can double that and have Unconstrained giving you 200% bonus damage all the time, because Supreme Wrath of the Berserker doesn't fall off. It doesn't expire when Wrath of the Berserker expires. It stays in your instance of berserking as long as you keep it up. And it's really easy to keep it up because Unconstrained gives you an extra 5 seconds. So basically, Unconstrained will triple your damage all the time if you play the game right. So why would we ever want to do something else? Well, it's because we need to spend more resources as much as we can, as fast as we can, for the Red Ring of Furor to give us crits, for Banished Lord's Talisman to give us overpowers. That works out much better with Unbridled Rage. It's almost perfect. You HotA once, you spin for a fraction of a second, you've already capped your Red Ring of Furor, you HotA again, it crits. Basically, you can make every HotA crit, every third HotA overpower, and plus, with all the extra swaps, with Earth Striker, you've got even more overpowers. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. It's great. Okay, talking about the Paragon. So this has got another little trick down here. It's very standard Paragon board, but there's one special thing we do right in the corner here, and that is the Weapon Master node. So 4% of our maximum fury every time we swap. This is similar to Furious Impulse that gives us 6 fury when we swap, except this is 4% of our max. So if we have 100, it's 4. If we have 150, it's 6. If we have 200, right, 8. How much is our max fury in this build? Let me put my Tusk Helm back on, and my Banished Lords, and my gloves, although I don't think those matter. Let's see, max fury is... oh, where is it? Hey, scroll over. Where is that? 228, yeah. So we'll be generating over 8 fury every time we swap, just from this node alone. Add that to the 6 we get from Furious Impulse, that's about 14, right? We can actually have so much fury generation that will triple that, or more. And then from hitting a few things with Whirlwind, we'll get even more. So you'll see how easily that we quickly stack up to 100 every time we do the Whirlwind HotA rotation. We spend 100, we generate 100. It's pretty close call, but we make it work. So, going back to the beginning of the board, we've got a standard layout here. We go up and put Exploit here, and we go up into Blood Rage the way I like to. We grab Blood Rage node, we get our damage while berserking. We path through these damage reduction from bleeding enemies, and we put Marshal here. This will increase the damage reduction from bleeding, and also give us a way to bring our charge off of cooldown by using our shouts. Going to the left, we are in the Carnage board. We get more damage while berserking. We pick up Carnage because we'll be critting so often. This will be up all the time. The faster we attack, the sooner we can move out of hazards. This helps us stay alive. It also helps us spend rage faster, which can be good for Warbringer, which I'll show in a second. We get cold resistance here. We get more damage while berserking. We put Might in this board to multiply up our damage while berserking. We also get damage reduction from close enemies. Very good board here. More damage while berserking. Nice. And here we are in Warbringer. So I like to path up this way through the left. Yeah, you know what? I almost wish I went through the right. No, this is good. Yeah, we want to go through this side because then we're close to the fire resistance cluster. And then we get Warbringer. So every 75 fury we spend, we gain a ton of fortify, and we're going to be spending over a little bit like 100 or more every time we HotA, and then whirlwind, and then HotA. So this is going to proc constantly. It'll keep us healthy. We like that. We put Crusher here, more damage when we overpower. We get a little bit extra resistances, and we need that to cap all of our resistances. Where are they? Yeah, 70s all around. Looks good. Can you see that? Not quite. Let me move this over a little more. There we are. Capped our resistances, yeah. Alright, more maximum fury. Not only does this make HotA do more damage, it also lets us regenerate more fury with the Weapon Master legendary node. It's great synergy. If we go to the right now, we're in Decimator, where I've placed Ire. We get damage reduction from vulnerable enemies, and we pick up the Decimator legendary node. Every time we overpower, every time we make people vulnerable, we get a bonus. We should be doing this all the time. Both of these bonuses should be up all the time. This is a great legendary node to have. If you have any extra points to spend, this is a great place for them. Not only will you get more strength, but then Ire will turn that into additional berserking damage. That turns into about 1% more DPS per node. It's very nice. Last thing I want to check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Our total armor. This is 7,600 before adding Juggernauts, which is about another 6,000. Altogether, that's over 13,600 about, and that's healthy. That's way over the cap. So you have room in this build to have like slightly subpar rolls on your armor or your Juggernauts. Or maybe if your resistances are bad, you would drop a skull out of your armor and put a gem there. Yeah. It's a pretty solid build. There's only one thing I kind of wish that I could add to this. That would be the Bonebreaker board. Let's look at the cluster. We've got overpower damage. Damage reduction while healthy. Yum. So many strength nodes. What could we put in here? Oh, we don't really need any of these. Yeah, I wish I had an excuse, and I wish I had a few more points. And if we didn't have this Weapon Master legendary node, I would find room for Bonebreaker, but we'll get by without it. So anyway, that's the Whirlwind HotA build. It's like super powerful, very popular, extremely satisfying. Yeah, it's not the easiest to play, but you'll figure it out. It's actually like getting the rhythm down of the whirlwind and the HotA. Whirlwind HotA. You hit like 70 times a minute if you get your pacing. Every hit crits. It's really nice. Hope you guys enjoyed the build guide. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna try not to get absolutely demolished by spiders. Oh god, they're poison. I'll be alright. I've got Andariel's Visage. As long as I keep dealing damage. Oh, I stopped dealing damage for a second. I'm gonna try.